You know that it's fun to go out, except I never leave my house. I'm either at work or home, and it seems kind of pathetic just drinking alone. So if you got nothing going on, have some drinks with Ron.
Hello and welcome to Drinks with Ron. I'm Ron, and I'm about to have a drink. But before I do, I'd like to introduce a new segment to the show. It's called Drinks with Ron Trivia. So right now we'll go ahead and we'll put up on the screen tonight's trivia question with an answer at the end of the episode. So I don't know what it is at the moment of recording, but let's put it up there right now. Okay, so you got till the end of the show to make up your mind. But getting back to my normal format, got some new Glarus Edel-Pils, a noble, noble Pilsner, brewed with the specific noble hops, they're called. So certain ingredients that have to go into being a noble Pilsner. I've had the Sam Adams version, and I wasn't a real big fan, but I say it might have been the wrong time of year. Of course, this one finished in the cellars, which means, say it with me, boys and girls, it's Kreuzened in the Kreuzening cellars. I do enjoy a Kreuzen beer. Pilsner is nice. Nice lighter colored beer. Of course, I got the Pilsner glass for it. And I'm anxious to try this one out. After a little lighter color. Still smells good. Nice, I bet this beer's got some good flavor to it. But got to thinking. I said my last episode, I said I didn't have the energy to go through and go on a giant tirade. Well, now I do have the energy to go on a big 3-4 minute rant where I make the point that I'm right. And let's start now, shall we, boys and girls? Prom season was just upon us. I know here in my small podunk rural town it was about a month ago, but it goes through that kind of whole month. And it's a small town, a lot of drinking going on around here because frankly there is nothing else to do. I wrote reports on this in high school, basically saying all you adults can get off our backs because you don't do anything but sit at the bars and drink anyway because there's nothing else to do in this town, and you know it's true. We can't even bowl because you fuckers have league bowling, which is code for heavy drinking while bowling is interspersed. So yeah, basically it's a drinking culture, it's a drinking state. It's a drinking town, and the rural thing just kind of limits your options. There's not much else to do. You're not a hunter, you're probably a drinker, and you might be both. So yeah, a lot of drinking going on. So when prom time rolls around, we get the big ad campaign around here, and the ad campaign is, parents who host lose the most. Do you know what this means? This means if there's a prom party, and you decide you want to have your kids at your house, maybe they're friends, put them in a basement, such as this one right here, perhaps even supply them with alcohol, take their keys and keep an eye on them, and it comes to light by the authorities that in fact you will not only get in trouble, but you will get in much worse trouble than anybody else. Is that not the most fucking assed thing you've ever heard? And I'm being dead serious here. Dead serious. You know what? I'm going to put the beer on hold. And I'm going to ask you a question. And damn it, I want you to answer this question truthfully. Now, given what you know about prom and high school kids and what you did and how things go, would you feel more comfortable with your children and their friends in your house, under your supervision, with you there, like I said, watching over the whole thing, or left to their own devices? I'm asking you that seriously. If you have children, I'm pretty sure I know your answer. And if you don't have children, I want you to stop and think about it. Because this is a serious fucking question. Would you seriously, which way do you feel better? Your kids in your house supervised by you, take their keys, the whole deal? Or, doing whatever the hell they want to do? Well, for devil's advocate, I know most of my viewers are pretty smart, and you're going to say, I want my kids in my house where I can keep an eye on it, the situation's under control, I have experience, I'm an adult, I've drank, I know alcohol poisoning, I know when to tell them to stop, I'll take their keys, I'll lock the doors, the whole thing's under control, we got a roll call, we know who's here. Now granted, I know that not every parent is that responsible, and some parents would have the kids over and just ply them with whatever liquor they want, leave them unsupervised to do whatever activities they may be up to. And I get that. I know not every parent is an incredibly responsible individual. But I'm going to put it to you this way. Exhibit A. My junior prom. Of course, I didn't go to my junior prom because I wore things like this hat. I was very surly, rude, opinionated, shot my mouth off, and had lackluster personal hygiene. Other than that, I'm confident I could have scored a date, although I didn't want to go to prom. I wanted to go to the party. So let me tell you about this. My junior prom party. I show up probably wearing this hat, my Jimi Hendrix t-shirt, which is now framed over there. Me and my buddy show up in my two-door blue hatchback. We get out. We proceed to start getting all sorts of trashed. We've got probably a bonfire, probably 8 foot in diameter, cornfield full of cars, trucks, vans, just parked in rows like stalls. Looked like a fucking Walmart parking lot, all blocked out. Around the fire we had a semicircle. It's like the old pioneer days where you circle the fucking wagons. Well, we had 3 hay wagons circled around our fire, with steps going up to them made of hay bales. In one, we had half barrels with the taps. You go up there, you fill up your drink, you come down the steps. In the next one, in the middle there, we had, I shit you not, you'd go up there, was a full-on shot bar where you could buy shots of whatever. There's a bunch of guys sitting there playing poker, playing cards for fucking money at a table where they were selling shots. Behind them, they had the scanner. So anything that was going on, we knew where the cops were, we knew when they were out. So, I mean, seriously, that's what we did. I got so fucking drunk, my junior prom, one of the guys was leaving, and he drove a van. I'm so wasted, I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to ride this van up, because, they had the ladder where you could climb up the back onto the top. So I get on, I get my feet on, 1 foot on the bumper, and I got 1 foot kind of sideways in the trailer hitch there. So I'm hanging on. You couldn't get the ladder, so I've got my fingers just about a 1/4 inch of my finger under the little groove on the door, just hanging on. So me and then another dude decides he's jumping on too. So there's 2 of us on the back of this truck. This is a good idea. We're going to ride this van up the field. Well, dude driving is an asshole and decides he's going to gun the fucking thing. As I said, the tenuous grasp I have, we're bumping around, and right then I think, okay, I gotta bail now before we get too much speed and jumping becomes an issue. So I go to leave, I let go, I turn around to jump, I dive off, my body goes that way, but my foot, which was still hooked into the trailer hitch, went that way. So, wham! I slam onto the ground, roll all the way down the hill, all the way back to the fucking bonfire where everyone's dying laughing. I just get up with a plastic cup crushed. Oh, broke my cup. Throw it in the fire, go get another one. Off I go, continue drinking all night, to which I drive home at 1:30 in the morning, absolutely fucking plowed, with my passed out buddy next to me. How's that sound? That sound better than a responsible parent with a basement full of kids taking their keys and keeping an eye on them? Does that sound fucking better to you? Okay, let's fast forward to my senior prom. I can't even tell you the story of my senior prom. I'll put it fucking that way. The internet, you can do and say whatever you want and post it. I can't tell this story yet. It's been 16 years. I can't tell it. It's too fucking bad. I just told you a story where I got wasted and jumped off the back of a moving van. And let me tell you, the prom the year after that makes that pale so far in comparison. It's not like comparing apples and oranges. It's like comparing apples and fucking motorcycles. They're not, other than the fact that that was on prom night, not even comparable. And then the year after that, I was out of school and I actually came back home for that weekend. And that party was just as bad as the one the year before. Can't tell you that story either. And you know the shit that I say on this show. So let me tell you, if you think the shit I've said on this show was bad, those two parties, I would sell movie rights to them. So I guess the best way to sum this up is with someone else's story, which I am comfortable telling. When I moved up to La Crosse, some friends of mine I worked with were a few years younger than me. I was like 23, 22. They were still seniors in high school, and they were all going to prom together. Well, apparently they got pulled over some point after prom, and I'm not sure what they were doing, but they were doing something. To the point where when the police pulled them out, he asked one of the girls, "What are you on? What are you doing? What are you taking? What are you on?" And she just kept saying, "I don't know. I don't know." And that was it. I mean, she wouldn't give them anything. They were doing something. Clearly, to the casual observer with some sort of training, he knew they were on something. He couldn't prove it. So, you know, you've got 6 kids driving around in a car on something. Cop doesn't have enough to get them, has to let them go. Where do you want your kids? That's not a fucking... That's not a rhetorical question. That is serious. Parents who host lose the most. Shenanigans. I call shenanigans. It's absolute bullshit. The things that kids will do if they're left to their own devices